Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for the NBA slate on Wednesday, November the 23rd. Big slate tonight, as per usual. Every Wednesday, we usually have a good amount of games, and we got 12 total games tonight. There are no games on Thursday, worth noting, because obviously on tomorrow, Thursday, is Thanksgiving, and there's no NBA games Thursday. But we do have a lot of games tonight. We have some NFL on Thursday that we're gonna mention in a second, but before we get started with the video, guys, breaking down the plays I like for today, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, please hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and if you're new to Prizepicks, check them out, sign up with promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And talking about the NFL games on Thursday, we do have a free square. Prizepicks is running a great promo for the NFL games on Thursday for Thanksgiving. They have Justin Jefferson's his receiving yards set at 0.5. This is a free pick, a free win that Prizepicks is giving you. If you look on the left, on the screen to my left, all you have to do is find any other pick you like to pair with this. You can pair up to one additional pick and make a 2-pick entry, triple up your money, or you can pair up to 5 additional picks, make a 6-pick entry, and potentially win 25 extra money. So if you want to go for the bigger payout, you can try and make a 6-pick entry, win 25 extra money. If you want to keep it safe, just find any other pick you like to pair with this, make a 2-pick entry, and if you get your other pick right, you'll triple up your money. So you guys can take a look at the NFL board, see if there's any NFL props you like for Thanksgiving Day for the 3-game slate. I do plan on making a video for this NFL slate. That'll probably go up sometime later Wednesday afternoon. So if you guys are playing the NFL slate, you want some NFL props for Thanksgiving Day, I will be sharing a couple plays I like in that video that I'll upload later this afternoon. But for NBA today, we got 3 picks to give out in NBA. You guys can pair my NBA plays with this free square if you want to do that. Because on Prizepicks, you can mix and match sports. You can make multi-sport entries. You don't have to just play one specific sport. So if you want to sign up for Prizepicks, make sure to use promo code NOAH. Get that deposit bonus when you sign up, and definitely take advantage of this Justin Jefferson free square that Prizepicks is offering. It'll be available all the way up until Thursday night when that Vikings-Patriots game starts. But let's talk through the 3 plays for today. Real quickly, do want to recap our plays from yesterday. We gave out 2 picks for Tuesday's slate. It was a small slate. It was only 4 games. And unfortunately, both of our plays came up just short. We took Tobias Harris, 34.5 fantasy points. He had a terrible first half. He got injured in the first half for a little bit. He came back pretty quickly, though. He wasn't in the locker room for too long. But he had a pretty terrible first half. I think he had like 6 fantasy points at halftime or something like that. And then he had a huge second half, finished with like 32 fantasy points when we needed 34.5. So he came up just short, unfortunately. And then we took DeAndre Ayton over 15.5 points. We needed 16 points from Ayton. I think he had literally like 2 points in the first half, or 4 points in the first half, and he had a big second half. He had a good fourth quarter, finished with 14 points, came up just short. So that was super annoying. Both of our picks were right there yesterday, just came up just short. And that's how it was on Monday's slate too, because we hit Julius Randle's fantasy points, but then Vooch lost by the hook. So we've had a lot of tough, close losses the last few days. It's been annoying, it's been tough, but we've been doing pretty well with our Patreon plays. We did give out 3 picks on Patreon yesterday, went 3-0 on those 3 picks. So, as always, if you guys do enjoy these YouTube videos and if they do help you out, I know we haven't been hitting our picks lately, but if these videos still do help you out and you want more Prizepicks plays from me, I do provide those over on Patreon. You can check that out, link down below in the description if you are interested. But let's go ahead and talk through the 3 picks that I like for today's NBA slate. Got a points prop I like for today, and then I have 2 fantasy score props that I like for today. So for the points prop, I want to talk about Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward's points prop is set at 15.5. I do like the over here, and Gordon Hayward so far this season, he's not been like an incredible scorer. I think he's averaging just over 17 points per game this season, but he should continue to benefit without LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is going to be out for a pretty good bit, I think, because of that ankle. So without LaMelo Ball, we can expect Gordon Hayward to see a pretty solid bump in usage so far this season in the minutes that he's played with LaMelo Ball off the floor. 22.8% usage rate, which is 3rd highest on the team behind Terry Rozier and behind Kelly Oubre. This season with LaMelo off the floor, he hasn't seen like a huge bump in usage, but I think his usage in general should spike without LaMelo. There's going to be more offensive opportunities for a lot of these important guys: Rozier, Hayward, Oubre. And I think Hayward's going to be a guy that continues to, be one of their number 1 options on offense. You look over his last few games, he's only gone over this in 2 out of his last 5 games, But this game against Chicago, that was a game he got injured. The game against Cleveland, that was a really tough matchup. I think that game went to like double overtime, or it maybe went to overtime. He played a ton of minutes in that game, just didn't get there. And then the game against Sacramento, I can't remember what happened in that game. I think he just didn't get there. He just had 12 points. He shot 3 for 10 in that game. But like the last 2 games without LaMelo, he's had 14 and 16 field goal attempts. So he's been taking a good amount of shots. He's been taking a decent amount of threes as well, 4 and 6 threes. So I think the shot volume will definitely be there. I think 16 points is a line that Hayward can hit pretty easily. He's played in 10 games this season, and I think he's gone over this line in 6 out of 10 games. He had 20 points against San Antonio, 26 against the Pelicans, 21 against the Knicks, 18 against Orlando, 23 against the Warriors, and 20 last game against Washington. So he's played in 10 games. He's gone over this in 6 out of 10 games. The only game he didn't go over, obviously that game against Cleveland. The game against Chicago, I'm pretty sure that was a game he got injured. He only played 16 minutes. Against Sacramento, he shot 3 for 10, had 12 points in that game. And then earlier this season against Atlanta, he played 31 minutes and had 12 points. Don't know what happened there. It might have just been another poor shooting game. Yeah, he shot 4 for 10 in that one. But normally in close games, Gordon Hayward's playing like big minutes. Last game, he played 37 minutes. He was dealing with a shoulder injury that was keeping him out for a while, but that seems to be behind him now, given that he played so many minutes last game. So expecting big minutes for Gordon Hayward here, expecting him to be one of the top options on offense for the Hornets right now, just without LaMelo. And obviously, Miles Bridges is still out too. So 15.5 points for Gordon Hayward. I like the over here. Gone over this line in 6 out of 10 games. A couple of the games where he went under were either poor shooting games or blowout. One game he got injured too. And I do want to mention that DraftKings Sportsbook, they actually have Gordon Hayward's points prop set at 16.5. So getting a little bit of value on Prizepicks with it being at 15.5. But that's the first pick I like for today. And then the next 2 picks I like, again, are going to be fantasy score props. I want to talk about Miles Turner, 34.5 fantasy points for Miles Turner. Also do like the over here. I think Miles Turner has a good chance to finish with more than 34.5 fantasy points today. For one, this matchup against the Timberwolves, you would think it's pretty tough, and I would say it's not the best matchup. Rudy Gobert definitely is a good defensive big, but this game has a massive, massive total, and I think that's what really makes this spot so appealing. So far this season, when you look at pace stats, these 2 teams are top 5 in pace this season. The Pacers are 5th in pace, and the Timberwolves are 4th in pace. So this is going to be a very fast-paced, high-scoring game. And like I said, the total is massive. 237 total right now with a 2-point spread. So this is expected to be a very high-scoring game, and it's expected to be a close game as well. And that's what we love to target. If we're going to be taking overs, we want games that are going to be high-scoring and are going to be competitive, going to be close. So I think Miles Turner, if he plays his normal, 33, 34 minutes here, he's got a very good chance to go over 34.5 fantasy points. So far this season with the Pacers, Miles Turner has averaged 1.34 fantasy points per minute. He's had a really good usage rate, 22.5% usage rate. We know Miles Turner is a guy that can rack up a ton of defensive stats. He gets a lot of blocks. He gets a lot of steals. And those are really important for fantasy score because they're worth 3 points each. And we can see games where Turner has there's been games this season where he's had 4 or 5 blocks. He's had 2 or 3 steals. I mean, he could get you 15 points from defensive stats alone, not including what he gets from scoring and from rebounding and maybe some assists too. So the permanent production's been good. So far this season, when you look at his game log and you look at this line, I'm pretty sure he's gone over this line in most of his games this season. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 out of 11 games this season, he's gone over 34.5 fantasy points. Last game, he came up just short against Orlando, but that was also a tough matchup, and it was a blowout. Turner only played 26.5 minutes. He came up just short against Miami, but that was also a really tough matchup. He did play his full minutes then, but finished with 31.9 fantasy points. There was one game against Brooklyn this season. He only played 20 minutes just randomly. Obviously went under that game. And then first game of the season against the Bulls, that was also a blowout. He played just 24 minutes, came up just short, 28.2 fantasy points. So pretty much all the games he's gone under this season have either been blowouts, or there was one game against Miami he just came up short, but that was also a really tough matchup. I think with the pace of this game, with the amount of points that are expected to be scored in this one, this is just one of those games that sets up so well for fantasy points. I mean, anytime you're looking at fast-paced games, there's just more opportunity for rebounds. When there's more shot attempts, when the game's played at a faster pace, there's going to be more opportunity for rebounds, more block shot opportunities, and it's just so much easier to have a big fantasy game when the final score is 130 to 120 versus when it's 80 to 90 or something like that. So we want to target these games. If we're looking to take some overs, we definitely want to target the games that are going to be high scoring, that are going to be competitive, and that's what this Minnesota Indiana game should be tonight. So 34.5 fantasy points. I like this line a lot for Miles Turner. I think he can still have success even going up against Rudy Gobert. I did look at his game log. He's faced Rudy Gobert a good amount since when he was on Indiana. He's faced the Jazz like 6 times, over the last 6 years against Indiana. He's faced them like 7 or 8 times. He's had over 34 fantasy points, 34.5 fantasy points in 6 out of his last 8 games against Utah. So this was obviously when Gobert was on Utah. But 6 out of his last 8 games against Rudy Gobert, Miles Turner has had more than 34.5 fantasy points. And that was back when Domantas Sabonis was on the team. That was back when Malcolm Brogdon's on the team. Now, without Sabonis, without Brogdon, we've seen Turner have a really big role. His numbers in general, his permanent production's it's been basically at an all-time high for him. So I like this one quite a bit. 34.5 fantasy points for Miles Turner, going to be our second pick for today. Third and final pick, another fantasy score prop that I'm liking, another game environment that's expected to be very, very fantasy friendly. We're going to talk about Domantas Sabonis, 39.5 fantasy points for Domantas Sabonis, and a really good spot here against the Hawks. So this is another game that is expected to be very fast-paced, very high-scoring. So far this season, when you look at pace stats, both these teams, the Kings and the Hawks, are top 7 in pace. The Hawks rank 7th in pace this season, and the Kings rank 6th. This game actually has the highest total on the slate, 241 total here between the Hawks and Kings, and a 5.5 point spread. So this is another game that is expected to be very high scoring, expected to be competitive. And when you're looking at this line for Domantas Sabonis, 39.5, I just think this line is too low, especially for this very friendly game environment. You look at Sabonis this season, he's averaged 1.27 fantasy points per minute. He's had really good numbers across the board. We know Sabonis is one of these guys that can stuff the stat sheet and do everything. He can score, he can get rebounds, he can get assists. He's got triple-double upside. So far this year, 20.7% usage rate, 26.4% assist percentage, 20.7% total rebound percentage. Leads the team in total rebound percentage, third on the team in assist percentage, and in terms of usage rate, he's 5th on the team in usage rate. So he's basically going to do everything when he's on the floor. 39.5 fantasy points. If he plays his normal, 34, 35 minutes, this is a line that he can easily go over, especially when you factor in how fast-paced this game should be, how many points should be scored in this one. And looking at Sabonis' game log this season, 39.5 fantasy points, this is a line that I do believe he's gone over in most of his games this year. It looks like he's gone over in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 7, 8, 9. So 9 out of 16 games, Sabonis has gone over 39.5 fantasy points. But when you look at the games he's gone under, a lot of those games he was in foul trouble. Like he's been dealing with foul trouble a lot this season, but the foul trouble has definitely not been as bad lately. He has had 5 fouls in back-to-back games, but that hasn't kept him from playing big minutes. He played 37 minutes last night against Memphis, played 34 minutes against Detroit, even when he had 5 fouls. 32 minutes against San Antonio. He's usually going to play like 33, 34 minutes in close games. He should average like 1.25, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Like, let's just say Domantas Sabonis plays 34 minutes today, averages 1.3 fantasy points per minute, which is usually what he averages on the season. That would project him for 44.2 fantasy points. So I think his line should be like 41.5, 42.5. I think 39.5 does feel a little bit too low for this friendly matchup, for this good game environment. And this is another spot where, when you're looking at centers, I like to look at like previous history versus centers. So for example, we talked about Miles Turner versus Rudy Gobert. We're looking at Domantas Sabonis versus Clint Capella. Sabonis has done fairly well against Clint Capella. He hasn't faced them yet since he's been on the Kings. But when he was on the Pacers, Sabonis, he's gone over this line in 4 out of his last 5 games against Atlanta. 45.2 fantasy points, 43.1, 44.3, 52.1, and then his last game against Atlanta, he had 37 fantasy points. But 4 out of his last 5 games against the Hawks versus Clint Capella, he's gone over this line. I think he's going to play big minutes here. This is a great game environment, fast-paced game. This line on Sabonis does feel a little bit too low for today. And these are going to be our 3 picks, technically 4 picks, I guess, if you do count the Justin Jefferson free square. But Gordon Hayward over 15.5 points, first pick for today. Miles Turner, 34.5 fantasy points, going to be our second pick. And then third and final pick, Domantas Sabonis over 39.5 fantasy points. So 3 total picks for today, guys. If you guys want to play these 3 picks with the Justin Jefferson free square, you can do so. Again, that is going to be available all the way up until Thursday night when the Vikings-Patriots game starts on Thanksgiving. I do plan on making a NFL video for the Thanksgiving Day slate. Plan on uploading that sometime later Wednesday afternoon. So if you guys want to know some plays I like for NFL tomorrow, you can check out that video as always. But if you guys enjoyed, please hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, again, if you haven't signed up for Prizepicks, sign up, use promo code Noah. You can get that deposit bonus when you do sign up, and you can also take advantage of the Justin Jefferson free square, the promo that Prizepicks is offering. But again, guys, appreciate you watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Best of luck tonight. Hopefully we can all win some money. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.